Good day everyone, I am Vincent Charlie Ambet and today I'm going to discuss the ionic compound transfer electrons. So, ionic compounds are formed when one or more electrons are transferred from one atoms to another. This creates two opposite charged ions, which are then attracted to each other by the force of electrostatic attraction. So let's discuss step by step the ionic compounds that transfer electrons. So let's start with the atoms with different electronegativity. So the first step in ionic compound formation is the percent of atom with different electronegativities. Electronegativity is measure of how strongly an atom attracts electrons. Atoms with high electronegativity tends to attract electrons more strongly than atoms with low electronegativities. Now let's talk about transfer of electrons. So when two atoms with different electronegativity comes into contact, the atom with the higher electronegativity will tend to attract the electrons from the atoms with the lower electronegativity. So this results in the transfer of one or more electrons from one atom to another. Now, let's talk about the formation of ions. So, the atoms that loses electrons becomes positively charged ion, which is called the cation. Then the atom that gain electrons become a negative charge ion, which is called anion. Now, let's talk about the attraction between ions. So, the the oppositely charged ions are then attract to each other by the force of electrostatic attraction. This attraction holds the ions together in the ionic compound. For example, this image show above that the sodium atoms Na has lost its valence electrons to the chloride atom. So this has created a positive charged sodium ion, which is Na plus sign, and negatively charged chlorine ion, which is Ci negative 1, negative Cl negative, chlorine ion negative. So the oppositely charged ion are then attract so each other by the force of electrostatic attraction. Now, to summarize all the topics that we are discussed. So, to make it shorter, ionic compounds are formed when one or more electrons are transferred from one atom to another. This creates two opposite charged ions. Then remember when they are trapped to each other by the force of electrostatic attraction, ionic compounds are held together by very strong force, which is why they have high melting and boiling point. So, sa bonus fun fact, let me give you three additional information before we end. So, first one is some common example of ionic compound with sodium chloride, magnesium chloride, and calcium carbonate.